By now, most of you guys have probably seen the Charlie Kirk video out, and my prayers and thoughts go out to the family. I don't know if he's made it or not. It looked pretty bad. And so I'm recording this at the point where I don't know if he's alive or not. But before I say too much, because YouTube really restricts within the first 30 seconds or a minute or so before things that I can say before I get my video automatically flagged. Let me just point out a few things. Real quick, let me tell you the story. There's a guy named Alexandr Solzhenitsyn that many of you guys need to familiarize yourself with what he talked about when he referred to men that wanted to be left alone. Let me read a little small portion of it to you. It says, "The most terrifying force of death comes from the hands of men who wanted to be left alone." Now, I'm not going to read any more of it. It's basically about 2 paragraphs long, and you can go look it up yourself. Alexandr Solzhenitsyn, I'll put the quote down below. You can Google the rest of it and read the other 2 paragraphs by yourselves. But we are very, very, very close. We're very close. We have been close for a while to reaching the point of being pushed past the point where men just wanted to be left alone. And at some point, when that point gets reached, you're going to see what Alexandr Solzhenitsyn talks about in those 2 paragraphs that I'm not going to read on this video. There have been certain points throughout history where that has been reached, and Alexander spoke those words based on history, knowledge of history. Which brings us back to homesteading. Why I got to where I am, I have said long and often on my channel, find a hole, get your family, and crawl down in it. Because this is not going to end well. And there have been people out there in the homesteading community who have risen the ranks of high YouTube counts and high subscriber counts well beyond me, but never talked about that topic before. Because that's just a little bit... Guys, I saw this back in 2012. That's why I was fighting to get out of St. Louis City. Because the moral compass has been broken, and when you reach the logical conclusion of where a broken moral compass gets you, that's where we are right now, today. With what you saw with Charlie Kirk. With what you saw in Charlotte. With what you've been seeing even around the world. What you're seeing in Great Britain right now. Why do you think Ireland is wanting to put a prize fighter as their president? Because people have had it up to here. We're at the point now where people have had it up to here. And when people have had it up to here, bad things happen. And I don't want to partake in all these bad things. I don't want to be one of these revolutionaries. I don't want to be some savior or some guerrilla fighter. I don't want to be any of that. I just want to live with my family. You know? Yeah, you get to the point of that movie, The Patriot, you know, where he didn't want to do that stuff either. He got drawn into it. But most of us, we just want to live our lives. And right now, we have... It's getting really bad. It's getting really bad. And let me just say this real quick. For my Christian brothers and sisters who are out there who believe a rapture is coming, years ago, I heard an interview that went sort of like this. One pastor was interviewing another pastor, and he said, "Hey, listen, what if the rapture doesn't happen? What if you find yourself in the middle of tribulation, you find yourself in the middle of a horrible, horrible world, but you're still here? The rapture didn't take place." And the other pastor responded with, "I'll lose my faith. I'll lose my faith." Ladies and gentlemen, I don't care if you believe in a rapture or not, but a lot of people will say, this is no big deal because the rapture is going to, when it gets really bad, the rapture will save me. I'll be out of here. I'll be fine. What you're about to see, because I don't believe in a rapture, what you're about to see is a whole lot of people lose faith. Because I believe what that pastor said was accurate, and he voiced it accurately. Most people may not respond in that way, but I think when they find themselves in a world of hurt, when all they've ever known in their entire lives is peace and prosperity and a world that has rule of law in it, for all of a sudden to be gone, you're going to see an awful lot of people lose their faith. So now you're dealing with a broken moral compass, which has been going on for a while and getting worse. Now you're dealing with a broken moral compass and a whole bunch of people who have a loss of faith. It's going to get bad. This is why I homestead. This is why I have always homesteaded. This is why I have always tried to instruct others that these need to be among your top reasons of why you're homesteading. I want you to succeed. I want you to survive, because it's going to get bad. It's going to get really, really bad. And we're looking at a world right now of people who have had it up to here. They've had it up to here, and they're done. And so get ready. Get ready. If you're not serious about growing food, you better get started. If you're not serious about preparing and getting things stocked up, you better get started. If you're not serious about security and having the means to protect and defend you and your family, you better get started. You better get homeschooling, getting your kids out of the public schools, getting out of the cities, getting out of debt. You better get started. Now's the time. Do not wait. People have had it up to here. What do you think? Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Prayers going out to Charlie Kirk and his family. I don't know if he made it or not. I'm sure by the time I click off this video and check back on X, I'll probably know the answer to that. But I saw the video. I already know the answer to that, I think. So it is what it is. Stay safe out there. Love you guys. See you next time on the Homestead. Bye.